Hello internet humans, my name is Megan. I'm a chaos beast and we're gonna make Midna from Twilight Princess using Ghoulia as our base model. If you clicked on this video, I'm sure you know the drill. We're gonna cut off her hair, rip off her head, pull out the plugs, and wipe off her face. Remember to be careful when doing any art projects. Now we're going to stick her head in a pickle jar full of pure acetone for 2 hours and wait for it to expand. And while that's doing that, we're going to cut off her neck peg so it fits on her shrunken head and file everything smooth, removing all of her seam and panty marks, as Midna has body paint rather than clothes. We're going to use epoxy sculpt. Remember to wear gloves. Epoxy sculpt can irritate your skin and there's no reason to take chances. With the leftovers, we're going to make a little korok. Now I've marked out the outlines of her body paint and I'm using chalk pastels to fill in her joints to try to minimize chipping. This will also help the later coats of paint stick. Here I'm switching over to thin layers of acrylic paint. You want to try to get as opaque as you can while keeping it thin so you minimize the amount of brush lines you have in the paint. The rule is to work in small, thin coats is the rule of thumb when trying to minimize paint strokes. I've taped off her hands in triangle points to give the look of sleeves that she wears. I didn't make the sleeves because she's tiny and it would have been a pain. So instead, I did this and they came out nice and clean and gave me a base to start painting her tattoos on. I've marked the tattoos out with light blue watercolor pencils so I can change them as I need. I'm trying to be as accurate as possible, but let's be honest, I did the best I could. I've also shaded the body, giving her depth in her belly button area and other places just to give a little more dimension to her. I use soft pastels and watercolor pencils for both of those. I sealed it with a matte sealer. It seemed to do okay. Here I've marked out her hip tattoos. You can't really see it because my camera didn't focus on the right thing. But I've also added 2 strips of painter's tape to give me straight lines when I go to do the wrap around her hip. That way it'll look straight whether it is or not. Here's how big the head got, and here's how little it got. I've sketched out what I want her features to look like with light blue watercolored pencils, and now I'm adding more saturated pencils now that I like the design. I'll quickly switch over to watercolored paint as I was too impatient to build up the watercolored pencils. should also mention I've used 3 different references. The manga is my main reference, along with a 3D model I found online. I'll link it in the description, along with the game images I also found online, and I'll link those too. I've made her sclera yellow as it is in the game in my references. I've added shadow with chalk pastels and the watercolor pencils as well to give her face more dimension. I made yarn wefts to give her a glued-on wig. I didn't record that very well, so here's the tiniest chunk ever of that just to see what I did. And now you can see it on the head in the next shot. Here's the vague outline of how I cut out her hood. This does not have sleeves as I couldn't figure out how to do it. And her skirt is one straight rectangle. The cloak, I painted the back with teal blue paint to give it that nice pretty ombre effect. And I added the details in a darker teal. Most of this you won't see while she's wearing the cloak anyways, but I know it's there. Here I'm freehanding her cloak you can't see the best because my hand keeps getting in the way. But I worked one side and then the other to keep the pattern as symmetrical as possible. I freehanded all of this because I didn't want to take the time to sketch it out. So it's a little off center, but close enough. Here's the skirt. I'm doing the same thing with the coppery gold, red, and I'll add teal at the end. I attached the skirt to a bent wire piece that I don't show you because all of her jewelry was fiddly to make and I didn't record it. I just tack it on with hot glue to the skirt piece, or the belt piece, I suppose. Here we are adding teal to the skirt. I add teal to parts of the cloak too to pull everything together. And pretty much with the jewelry made off camera, this doll is done. Stuck the head onto her off camera so you can see her with her body attached. I also took glamour shots of just her body when I realized the cloak would cover up most of the paint that I put on her. But I'm pretty proud with how she came out. She's mostly recognizable, and that's all I can ask for. If you guys stuck around for the whole video, I appreciate it. If you see what else I get into, stick around, subscribe. If you don't, that's fine too. Have a good day. Thank you guys.